The T-90S or the Bhisma is the Indian Army's main battle tank. India has around 2,000 of these tanks. India has another 2,500 T-72 or ATGM tanks. So with more than 4,500 of these Russian tanks, India is one of the largest operators of tanks in the world. But in the Russia-Ukraine war, we saw the spectacle of how the Russian tanks were tossed into air by the cutting-edge Western anti-tank weapons. In fact, there was a competition between Russian tanks as to whose turret would fly the highest. What a joke! This war clearly exposed the vulnerability of these T-90 and T-72 tanks. Is the Indian tank fleet useless against these Western ATGMs? So in this video, we will analyze the T-90 and the T-72 tanks in detail and also try to answer the million-dollar question. Can Indian tanks survive strikes from these Western ATGM, especially from the most advanced one, the Javelin? The T-90 has a length of 9.63 meters and a breadth of 3.78 meters and weighs a maximum of 48 tons. It's smaller than the Western tanks like the M1 Abrams, which is 9.77 meters long and 3.66 meters wide and weighs 70 tons. The Western tanks are heavily armored compared to the Russian ones. The T-90 uses an autoloader and hence has a crew of 3, whereas the M1 Abrams is manual and has a crew of 4. The T-90 is protected by the third generation Contact 5 explosive reactive armor or ERA. The ERA is a small explosive package that explodes when a projectile hits the tank. The ERA explosion kicks out the incoming projectile far away from the tank, thereby protecting the tank and its crew. The ERA was claimed to be very effective against unguided rockets like the RPG-7, but in the 1999 Chechen War, the Chechen rebels were able to knock off a number of T-72 fitted with explosive reactive armor. How did they do it? Simple. The rebels would fire an RPG-7 from a close range to trigger the explosive reactive armor protection. They would then re-attack the exposed tank armor with 2 or more RPG hits, again from the close range. This effectively knocked out the T-80 and T-72 in large numbers. The Russians also developed the Shotra-1 countermeasure. The large red eyes of the T-90 represents the Shotra-1. It's an electro-optical infrared jammer. The Shotra-1 warns a tank crew when the tank has been painted by a weapons guidance laser. If an ATGM is detected, then in a few seconds, the computer inside will automatically launch a smokescreen which is opaque to IR radiation, thereby hiding the tank from a direct attack from a missile. But this system has become obsolete and the T-90 Bhisma is not fitted with this countermeasure. The Russian tank's defense is concentrated mainly on the RPG-7 type of attack, which costs around $2,500, but it has no protection against a $250,000 Javelin ATGM, which the Americans gave free of cost to Ukraine in large numbers. So how deadly is a Javelin ATGM? The Javelin ATGM is nothing Russia or India has ever seen. It's truly a super expensive high-tech weapon designed to defeat any tank defenses. Russia lost almost 2,000 tanks to this deadly weapon. Unlike the RPG, the Javelin is an infrared guided missile. The soldier just needs to aim at the target correctly and fire the missile. The missile guides itself to the target, blowing up the tank. The Javelin has a range of 2.5 kilometers compared to the RPG-7's 330 meters. This vast range difference helps the soldier to move out of the place once a missile is fired. The Javelin ATGM can be launched in 2 ways. First, the direct attack mode, where the missile travels in a straight path like any other ATGMs, but this can be least effective due to the tank's reactive armor. The other is a unique top attack mode, where the missile climbs up to 150 meters and hits the top of the tank, where the armor is minimal. This is deadly as most Russian tanks do not have protection against this type of attack. The Javelin's top attack mode and a range of 2.5 kilometers makes the Russian tanks defenseless. The Russians then made a metal cage to protect the tank from the top attack mode of the Javelin. But this did not work as the Javelin uses tandem charge design and it penetrates deep into the tank, taking out all the crew. In 1993, Russia announced a new active protective system called Arena. This system uses a Doppler radar to detect incoming warheads. Upon detection, a defensive rocket is fired that detonates and neutralizes the incoming missile before it can hit the vehicle. At $300,000, this system was expensive and also had a major flaw. Since a 105mm projectile is launched to neutralize the incoming ATGM, there will be too much collateral damage to the surrounding troops. The arena was, however, not seen in the Ukraine war. The Swedish company Saab has developed a similar system called the Land Electronic Defense Systems. Saab has tied up with Tata Power's Strategic Engineering Division to manufacture the product in India. At the 2016 Defense Expo, Tata Power SCD displayed a model of the LED's 150 active power system integrated on a T-90 tank, anticipating the Indian Army's interest in such solutions. At present, the Indian tanks have no protection against the Javelin's top attack, but India can make up for that with a good war strategy. Normally, tanks don't operate alone. Tanks are accompanied by infantrymen, snipers, and the BMPs. In the Ukrainian war, the Russians did not deploy the infantrymen and snipers well. This helped the Ukrainian soldiers to comfortably target the Russian tanks with their advanced ATGMs. Hope India would take a lesson out of this war and fix the security flaws in its Russian tanks. If you like this video, please subscribe for more. Thanks for watching.